So today we have two titans, two visions of what mobile computing should be. On one side we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 and on the other side we have the Apple's A19 Pro. Both uses TSMC's 3nm process, yet their philosophies couldn't be more different. Snapdragon is all about raw performance and stability, powering everything from gaming smartphones to foldables. Apple, meanwhile, focuses on tight integration and efficiency, turning every transistor for balance inside its ecosystem. So, it's not just a battle of specs, it's a clash of ideology. So, let's put them head to head through benchmarks, CPU, GPU, memory, gaming, AI, camera, connectivity, and many more to see which one truly rules the 2025. So yeah, if you're new here, then hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon because I'm all about brutally honest chipsets reviews, camera reviews, gaming reviews like this one. So friends, let's start with the raw truth, the numbers. So in AnTuTu version 10, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 shattered records with 4,288,382 points, while the Apple A19 Pro posted 2,579,326 points. That's about 66% faster for Qualcomm. Now, breaking these scores down, the Qualcomm CPU achieved 1,212,902 points versus 923,461 points for Apple. That's about 31.3 times faster for Qualcomm. Then comes the GPU, the monster. The GPU on the Snapdragon achieved 1,469,542 points versus 981,256 for Apple. That's about 49.8% faster in the favor of Qualcomm. And the 8 Elite Gen 5 memory achieved 600,024 versus 280,579. That's about 113.8 times faster for Qualcomm. Yeah, it straight up doubled it. Now finally, the UX of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 achieved 1,005,914 versus 194,030. That's also about 155.2 times faster in the favor of Qualcomm. And that's just crazy. Shifting to the Geekbench 6, and the Apple A19 Pro fires back with single-core performance, hitting 3,933 points versus the Qualcomm's 3,596 points. That's about 9 times faster in the favor of Apple. While in the Geekbench 6, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 flips the table again, scoring 12,013 versus 10,223 points for the Geekbench 6 multi-core. That's about 18 times faster in the favor of Qualcomm. So, to put it simply, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is the undisputed king of synthetic performance. It's about 66 times faster overall and dominates GPU, memory, and UX by a wide margin. Now here's where things get real. The muscle and mind of both platforms. Starting with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Qualcomm's Orion CPU roars with 8 cores on TSMC 3nm process, with 2 prime cores clocked at 4.61 GHz and 6 performance cores clocked at 3.63 GHz, all built on ARM version 9.2/A instruction set. It's backed by 192 KB of L1 cache, 12 MB of L2 cache, and 16 MB of L3 cache, creating a massive pipeline for throughput and multitasking. Then the Apple A19 Pro takes a different path, a 6-core architecture with 2 high-performance cores clocked at 4.26 GHz and 4 efficiency cores clocked at 3 GHz. It's also built on TSMC 3nm N3P node, but it has a smaller 6 MB shared L2 cache, but makes up for it with the powerful system-level cache and precise memory control, which is tuned perfectly for iOS. Now friends, on to graphics, the visual battlefield. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 fields a powerhouse Adreno 840 GPU, clocked at 1.2 GHz and built on Adreno 800 architecture. It houses 3 pipelines, 512 shading units, and 1,536 shaders, delivering 3.6 teraflops of compute power. It impacts 18 MB of dedicated Adreno HBM VRAM, giving it desktop-grade throughput with near zero latency. Now, Apple ZIPO fights back with 1.6 GHz with 6 pipelines, 128 shading units, and total of 768 shaders, capable of 2.4 teraflops of compute power. That's about 32% less power on paper. So friends, the verdict is clear. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 takes the crown for raw CPU and GPU dominance, leading up to 77% in total synthetic power and 69% in graphics throughput. Now, when it comes to memory speed and capacity, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 simply runs harder and faster. It packs the LPDDR5X RAM clock at 5300 MHz on a quad-channel bus, pushing up to 84.8 gigabits of bandwidth. That's roughly 10% faster than what Apple offers. It also supports up to 24 GB of RAM, and combines a 24 MB CPU cache with 18 MB of dedicated GPU HBM VRAM, forming a high-speed triangle between CPU, GPU, and memory. Now, the Apple A19 Pro, on the other hand, uses 12 GB of LPDDR5X RAM running at 9600 MTS with a unified memory architecture, delivering about 76.8 gigabits of bandwidth. So, in simple terms, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 moves data around 10 to 12 times faster and handles twice the RAM size. So, it's the winner here again. Now, friends, we stepped into a new battlefield: intelligence. So, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 dominates the AI arena with its Hexagon 5th Gen NPU, delivering up to 220 tokens per second, roughly 37 times faster than Apple's A19 Pro. It merges its Orion CPU, Arduino GPU, and Hexagon NPU into one seamless Qualcomm engine, capable of handling multi-modal data with text, images, voice, and sensor inputs all in real time. The chip supports a wide precision range from INT2 to FP16, using Hexagon Direct Link for direct CPU, GPU, NPU communication and ultra-low latency, combined with a dual micro NPU sensing hub. It enables agentic on-device AI that runs large language models and large vision models locally, supporting personal knowledge graph and scrap system for context-aware, fully private generative intelligence. Meanwhile, the Apple A19 Pro powers its AI through a 16-core neural engine capable of around 160 tokens per second. It's paired with neural accelerator inside each GPU core for parallel AI and graphics processing. Its 12 GB of LPDDR5X unified memory gives every core full bandwidth access, ensuring minimal latency and smooth execution for real-time tasks like photo enhancement, translation, and on-device large language models such as Llama 1B and Qwen 1B. So in pure power, again, the Snapdragon is more faster and more flexible. Now, when it comes to imaging, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 and the Apple A19 Pro takes a completely different path to visual mastery. Snapdragon goes for raw sensor power, built around Spectra triple 20-bit AI ISP, the first of its kind in mobile, capable of capturing 48 megapixel triple shots at 30 fps, 108 megapixel single frames, and even 320 megapixel stills, while Apple counters with a custom ISP tightly integrated with its 16-core neural engine, prioritizing perception over pixels. Its imaging pipeline merges smart HDR, photonic engine, and deep fusion, optimizing every frame to mimic human vision rather than chase resolution. The Snapdragon's 24-bit depth delivers roughly 11% more tonal detail than Apple's 18-bit effective pipeline, giving it the edge in highlights, shadows, and contrast recovery. For video, the Snapdragon records 8K HDR 60 fps or 4K 120 fps, powered by the APV codec and motion-aware noise reduction. But Apple focuses on quality within its ceiling: 4K 120 ProRes RAW and Apple Lock 2, maintaining perfectly stable tone and temperature across longer takes. But Qualcomm pushes harder on creative flexibility, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, EVA 5.0, TruePic C2PA certification, essentially turning your smartphone into a portable studio. But the Apple's strength lies in cinematic consistency, natural color science, accurate skin tones, and thermal stability up to 60 minutes of 4K capture. That's 20 minutes longer than Snapdragon's endurance. So in pure capability, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 delivers wide range, higher resolution, and more control, making it the ultimate creator's playground. But when it comes to visuals, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 and the Apple A19 Pro approach perfection from opposite ends. The Snapdragon is built for power and range, delivering Quad HD Plus panels up to 240Hz or even 4K displays at 120Hz, powered by the Adreno display engine. Basically, desktop class refresh in your hands. But Apple focuses on fluid precision, using ProMotion OLED that scales from 1Hz to 120Hz, giving effortless smoothness when needed and conserving power when not. Snapdragon supports Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR10, and HDR Vivid at 10-bit REC.2020 color, while Apple's display pushes 12-bit P3 color with two-tone calibration for unmatched tonal fidelity. The Arduino VPU handles the HDR decoding, AI tone mapping, and power modulation to sustain 4K 120 playback without heat spikes, while Apple's display engine works hand-to-hand with its ISP and neural engine, dynamically adjusting tone and range for every scene or frame of ProRes footage. So side by side, the Snapdragon offers double the refresh rate headroom, 240Hz versus 120Hz, and a 66% high-resolution ceiling, perfect for AR, VR, and gaming displays. And we've already seen that in the OnePlus 15 with its 165Hz refresh rate. Now, connectivity is where these two flagships truly show their philosophies. Snapdragon comes loaded with the Qualcomm X85 5G modem RF system, the first build on 3GBP release 18. It delivers up to 12.5 Gbps downlink and 3.7 Gbps uplink using 8 carrier mmWave, 4x6 MIMO, and 6CA sub-6 GHz aggregation. That's fiber-class wireless. And for connectivity, the fast Connect 7900 system brings Wi-Fi 7 speeds up to 5.8 Gbps with high-band simultaneous multi-link, plus Bluetooth 6.0, LE audio, and UWB for spatial precision, all while running cooler and 40% more efficiently. Now, Apple takes a different route with its N1 networking chip, merging Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6.0, UWB, and Thread into a unified connection hub, while the iPhone 17 Pro still uses Qualcomm's X80 modem. Plus, Apple's new C1X modem in the iPhone Air marks its first in-house step toward full independence. Smaller, cooler, and built for smart energy use. It also reaches 5.8 Gbps Wi-Fi 7 speeds, and the rest, as you can see. So the verdict is the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is the connectivity king. It dominates in sheer bandwidth, 25% faster downlink, 48% faster uplink, and broader global 5G coverage. So friends, who's the overall clear winner? Well, that brings me to my final verdict. So at the end of this clash, one truth stands tall. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 doesn't just compete, it conquers. It dominates across the board: CPU, GPU, RAM, benchmarks, and connectivity, proving that Qualcomm has finally bridged the gap between mobile and desktop performance. So here is the final truth. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is the clear winner, the performance king of 2025, as you witness it in this full comparison. So yeah friends, that's all for this review. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot of things from this video, and if you did, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to never miss a review video like this one. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to answer them. So my name is Hamza, this is Strict, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you want to watch the full review of the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, that's a long name, then that review is right here. And if you want to watch the full review of the Apple's A19 Pro, then that video is right here.